Chapter 32. She charges into the swarm of purple giant hornets with shimmering spotted eyes of gold. With quick speed, she slices them out of the air with her steel sword. A violent hum approaches from behind, and one hornet remains with its black, toxic stinger ready to plunge into her skin. A gunshot erupts, and a musket ball pelts into the center of the hornet's head. Its skull cracks with brutal clarity. Burning gunpowder fills the air as the hornets disappear in a pillar of light. Watch yourself, Hotaru. A sting from those things is bound to bring a quick death, the yellow bandana captain warned, loading another shot in her flintlock pistol. Thanks, Maria, but hornets aren't something new to me. She snickers back at Hotaru's remark. I wouldn't expect less from the hero. Metal clangs echo deep within the cavern, quickly closing in. From the darkness, deep in the hallway ahead, 4 headless knights in blue-plated armor march forward, their swords coated with rust. Maria runs over to Hotaru's side, pulling out a black thin sword with a silver guard designed in resemblance to a crab from her sheath. Would you say Knights of the Undead variety are familiar to you as well? Can't say I have. A deep, booming voice emerges from behind them, announcing his presence like a fairy tale hero. Step back, ladies. These knights are no match for the legendary Robin Hood. A dark shadow covers them, and with a massive sweep of his stainless axe, the knight's armor scatters across the floor in pieces. With his outstretched arm, he holds his pose, flaunting his massive muscles to his opponents as they disappear in the light. Looks like that's the end of them for now. Maria speaks as she sheathes her sword. Let's proceed forward before any more monsters show up. They continue along the path paved with thick ocean blue tiles. Surrounding them are giant skull statues with bright fires shining from their eyes. Thankfully, the fire is strong enough to keep them warm from the depths. However, the hallway down is never-ending, with the skulls eventually coming to a halt, leaving the road forward in a cold darkness. Their sight slowly adjusts as the darkness consumes them. For the moment, it is peaceful, and Hotaru can finally take a moment to think. Since she entered this dungeon, it has been nothing but challenging fights, one after another. The head of the cathedral did warn her of such danger. However, it was a hero's duty if she wanted to succeed her father. From what Maria has told her, something lies at the bottom that only her blood could wield. Now back to what I was saying, Robin Hood spat. Why are you here? Hotaru snaps to him, completely forgetting his sudden appearance. That I should be asking you. You always manage to show your ugly mug when I'm around. What makes you say I'm ugly? I'm wearing a mask. Well, it's not to hide your identity. Anyone can tell it's you from those nasty clothes and your stink. I don't stink, I think, he answered, sniffing his sweaty and hairy armpits. With the lift of his arm, a foul odor of garlic and cheese protrude out like a newly alit scented candle. We're here for the blue orb and the sword, Maria interjected in between their childish scuffle. What makes you so sure that this blue orb is here? Robin Hood countered, shocked to hear the name. Seems you also know of the orbs as well, Hotaru pondered. For supposedly being a simple bandit, he sure knows much about the hero's journey. Who are you exactly? A pirate that has no clue of the treasure they seek is no pirate. Maybe I can push more information out of him. Let me guess. You thought it was the Sunstone. You probably misheard another rumor. Shut it, kid. They say that in Gaia's navel, a stone that shines hides in its depths. His words dwindle off until he comes to a complete stop, his eyes scrolling up to his brain. No, that has to be it. I refuse to admit I made another mistake. Can you two children stop arguing? The last thing we need is to draw more attention. Sorry, miss, he mumbled. Hey, since when did you start partnering up with pirates anyway? Aren't you a bit too goody-shoe for that? As she said, we seek the blue orb, and after that I have to find my friends. You mean you don't know where those other dweebs are? She takes a soft breath. I only hope they are safe. She takes her attention away from him and back to the path. They will be fine. His response is soft, like a father hearing the woes of their child. That sucks, kid. Now that is something I can relate to. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't want your sympathy, she snorted. Besides, you nearly killed us when we first met. Maybe so, but I'm a changed man. Violence is now my second option. She rolls her eyes at his stupid comment, continuing to play a fool. Well, we still have a bit of time, he said. How about you tell me your story of how you got here, since I told you mine? Let's start with how y'all got split up. That beast Squidzilla is what happened, Maria answered. I left my ship unattended for only a minute, and everything I had was lost. If it was my ship, that monster would have been blasted into the next life. Hotaru was the only person that washed up near the shrine. Friends lost at sea, he commented. And how did you get here on this island? Before anything could get done, I needed my ship back. The night is young, and the working people head to their homes to rest for the day. The guards at Ortega's castle withdraw into the welcoming gate and close it shut. At the castle's port, no one is in sight. Not a sound emits other than the ocean's gentle waves and the droplets of ending rain. On the pier where the holes and burns of simpler times remain, a shuffle responds. From behind a few barrels at the end of the dock, Hotaru and Maria await to enact their plan. I can't waste time here, Hotaru pleaded. My friends are out there somewhere. They need my help. Listen to me, Hotaru, Maria whispered, grabbing hold of Hotaru's shoulders and looking into her panicking eyes. We don't know where your friends are, but we need something to grant us a fighting chance. We need a ship. Then why are we headed to Lanson? Why not zoom to places I've been before? Because the blue orb awaits there, and it was the closest island near the wreckage. Chances are they washed up there. If not, you need to believe your friends can manage their own. My coin says that stoic priest traveling with you would spout some nonsense about having some faith. Let's hurry and get this over with then. The sooner the better. She lets go of her and looks out from behind the barrel. She gazes to the side of the castle, where a large structure sits on the water, with a huge opening for ships to sail in. On the water near the dock is a small raft that is anchored to the pier with a thin chain. She rises above the barrels as no guards are in sight. Over there is a storage unit for trader ships to drop off their merchandise that make its way to the castle. My ship is in there, and we will get there with the use of the raft. Won't they know a giant missing ship? Not till morning, as no guards are posted there at night. Still, won't they know it was you who stole it? Most likely. And they will probably hunt me down until I'm dead. But with Baramos roaming freely, a city of soldiers is just another thing to add to my plate. She finished, darting to the raft's anchor. Hotaru follows her and eases into the shaky raft. It barely fits 2 people, and without the beautiful shining moon, its black color would be invisible in the night. She unhooks the chain, detaching it from the post and raft, dropping it into the ocean. She takes the 2 matching colored oars at the side and gently rows to not make a sound. The rain stops, and the still water ripples with every paddle, disorienting the reflecting moon. Hotaru looks to the clear sky, snuggling in her cape in hopes of shielding herself from the cold and her anxieties, pondering her friend's safety. Isamu, wherever he is, will be fine, but the other 2 worry her. Aziza has been getting tougher along the journey, but she knows the devastation Aziza carries when separated from her friends. She might not be able to think rationally, as she tries to find any one of them, no different than when they were kids. Yet Hotaru finds it hard to believe that anymore. Aziza was the one to save her in the desert, whereas Hotaru fainted from panic. She even held her own against Isamu when facing head-to-head. She has grown into a powerful fighter. And Fedir, unlike those two, still heavily relies on the others as well as the goddess, but something about him has changed. It's just as Maria said. He has grown more stoic. In the face of danger, he doesn't quiver. He stands his ground. However, it's not brave like Isamu. It's different, like having knowledge of future events. Hotaru has recently been sensing these things happening when he closes his eyes and appears deep in thought. He knew Maria wouldn't harm them. He knew the Squidzilla was approaching. His magic must have grown to provide a power far beyond what Hotaru is capable of. Perhaps it isn't any of them she should worry about. She is the one falling behind. The paddling comes to an end as the sky disappears, and before her eyes, atop the water, it floats. Maria's ship. It sits on the water, anchored like the raft, with a stone platform surrounding it with dozens of boxes, barrels, and loose tools. The ship is a tad larger than the last, with several cannons on its side. As they pass it, just above the center of the hull, large fancy black text reads, Vento Eterno. Maria gazes at the beautiful vessel. There awaits my beauty. After claiming what was rightfully mine, we made our way straight here. Robin Hood has his hands clamped together, and though his dirty mask covers his face, his eyes shine, like a child hearing a magical story. That's amazing! To pull such a heist with such clean skill! You are after my heart with stories like that, Hotaru scoffed. Like you would have a chance with her. She has more talent in one finger than your whole body. Both of your flattery won't sway my feelings towards any of you. After all this is done, it's off to sea with my new key. You still won't consider fighting against Baramos? And what of the others? We have yet to find any of them. My contribution is aiding you with the orbs. Finding your friends is your own venture. With the red orb in your hands, and the blue one soon to join, I will be fulfilled. Aiding me? You call holding us hostage for your own personal gain aiding me? Just when I thought we were getting close. She still carries that I don't care attitude. I think we just about reached the end, Robin Hood spouted, pointing to a golden sword that is placed on a pedestal. They reached the end of the line, where the sword, in the shape of a lightning bolt, alighting the room with its yellow glow, is impaled into a bronze pedestal. Behind the blade is a massive statue of a strong man with a godly physique and an ancient toga. Its massive arm is reaching for the sword with a curled fist. On the pedestal, a golden plaque reads, Come forward, blood of the hero, and claim your rightful power. Otherwise, meet your demise by the thunderous might of the heroes before. Robin Hood scratches his head, lifting away from the text. Quite ominous, if you ask me. From what I understand, the weapon is known as the Thunderbolt Sword, said to strike lightning down on its wielder's foes. Hotaru spins to Maria. If that's the case, then Baramos doesn't stand a chance. Then grab it. She gestures like presenting an award. Only the hero can claim it, so that means you. Yeah, let's see it, Robin Hood added. Shut it. Maybe you should try since you're so confident. Enough bickering already and just grab it, Maria shouts with rage. They both look at her with fear in their eyes. She taps her finger on her wrist as she crosses her arms. Together they quiet down and mutter, Sorry, miss. Grandma never mentioned Dad wielding a legendary sword. Did he keep it hidden, or was he incapable of using it? Hotaru realigns with the shining sword. Stepping up to the plate and gazing down onto its silver hilt, small streaks of electricity flow around like a wheel. She wiggles her fingers, slowly stretching for the handle. Her body shakes as she recalls its cryptic words. Though she knows and has been told of her heroic history, facing it now to prove it is beyond frightening. She takes hold of the hilt, and she screams in pain. Electricity travels up the blade, to the hilt and into her hand. Her organs feel as if they are getting fried. Her body shakes with violence, and finally, the electric jolts course through her black hair, forcing it to rise. Several pillars of hair are completely straight, like a bed of spikes. The brutal, shocking stop. Smoke releases from her cyan tunic and blue cape. She kneels to the floor in pain, holding out her hand to see the small jolts jumping from each of her fingers. "Are you okay, kid?" Robin Hood shouted, running over to her and lending an arm to grab. But the electricity from her body leaps out and pushes Robin Hood back with a yelp. The statue above vibrates with an intense force, nearly knocking him to his feet. The eyes in the statue light with a calming blue, and the fist slowly opens. A blue light emits through the fingers as they open, and the blue orb crashes to the ground, still in pristine condition. A voice calls from the darkness. "Hotaru will be fine. Being the host of transferred great power takes a toll on the body. The same thing happened to your father." She spins her weakened body around with the help of Robin Hood, and manages to shout with surprise. "Grandma?" "Bah!" Robin Hood screamed with a pitch higher than a morning bird, dropping Hotaru like a hot rock. "It's you!" He kneels to the ground, begging for mercy. "I promise, I didn't lay a finger on her. You got to believe me." Hotaru winced in pain as she smacked the hard stone floor. Pimiko snickers. "So this is the bandit that has been causing problems around the world. Color me surprised." Maria steps forward. "I did as you asked. I helped that kid with the orbs, I know. Now I will be taking my leave." "So you kidnapping us was part of your plan?" Hotaru spoke out. "It was her idea. The old coot has a liking for putting people she loves in unwanted scenarios." "Old coot isn't something I've been called in a long time," she responded, unfazed by her rude remarks. "Surely you understand the trials one must go through to save the world." "Whatever you say." "I'm not done with you yet. We still need you and your ship for Necrogon." "I don't think so. I have other matters I wish to attend to." "Are you scared? Afraid we will fall for the same mistakes? Because things are different this time." "And how so?" "Because this isn't my fight." She points to Hotaru. "It's hers, and the allies she has accumulated through the journey, not some mindless military aiming for an ulterior motive." She leans her head over. "So no kings?" "Can't. Most are against the idea. The operation remains with its people." Pimiko dons a face of power and knowledge, like a general of an army. Hotaru still struggles to see her grandma in this light. She chuckles. "You truly believe a couple of kids hanging on to hope will stop the Archfiend? They succeeded in your task. They have scoured the world on blind faith. Even in the jaws of death they still stand. What they hold is more than mere hope. It's promise." Hotaru's eyes spring open. "They're alive?" Maria shakes her head with a grin. "You're a strange bird. Maybe if our wishes align, I will consider it." She walks off into the depths. "Wait!" Hotaru cried, standing to her feet. "Then that monster that sank the ship. You planned that all from the start? My friends are out there all because of your stupid plan?" "Ease yourself, Hotaru," Pimiko said with a gentle voice. "You all splitting off was unplanned, but I'm happy to tell you that everyone is safe and waiting for your return in Japan. They also managed to get their hands on 2 more orbs." She takes a deep breath she's been holding in for several days. "Thank the goddess you're all okay," she whispered, placing her hand to her heart. It beats with intense speed like a flash of lightning. She steps over to Hotaru, crouching down to her eyes and wiping her tears. "I have put you kids through a lot, and I'm sorry. I simply wish for you to be ready for whatever may come. Now let's hurry. From the stories they told, they miss you heavily, and so do I. Surely escaping their grasp once we arrive is impossible. We can even share a meal and take a moment to rest. After all, you kids have earned it." She combs her scattered hair with her hand, straightening it back down. "And where are you off to?" she asked, keeping her attention on Hotaru, who was holding back tears and pressing her face into Pimiko's shoulder. "Me?" Robin Hood said, pointing to himself. "I figured we all did a job well done, and that I should be heading back on the road. What if I told you that Baramos held the Sunstone?" He flinches, but his voice is calm. "How do you even know of that?" "I carry more knowledge that I sometimes wish I didn't. I know what it is you are after, for I have seen it myself." He gasped, trying to think of his next words. "Join Hotaru," she ordered. "She will need your help. Once she succeeds in her mission, so will you. Consider it another offer compared to what else I have in store." "Fine, I will be there," he sighed. "How did I even get caught up in this mess?"